Hey everybody, thanks for hopping on to another Mere Word chat recording. Today I am joined by the amazing Eli Listort, and he is joining me from Florida, right? Aren't you in
St. Petersburg.
St. Pete? All right, we got a lot of Floridians, and so both of us are in the heat, but inside our air conditioning, which is a gift. And
Amen to that.
I know. He is married to Diane, and they hop on the mirror for, gosh, you sometimes, and sometimes both of you. But today, it's just Eli and I. And in the future, stay tuned because sometime Brian and I will have both he and Diane on to join us for a wild ride for that particular broadcast. But yeah, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you and tell us when you joined up with the Mirror Word.
Okay, so I stumbled across the Mirror on Facebook, obviously, about a little less than a year ago, and I started following and commenting here and there. In fact, I had a few comments that I posted that took like 3 or 4 days before they were okayed. But it seems now that everything I put up there is just posted. So little less than a year. Um, I had commented on somebody's post, Homusios de Patre, which we all know as Father, Son, and Spirit of the same being or the same substance. And Armando Gutierrez happened to see that, and he sent me a Facebook request to Zoom with him. So back in January, we hooked up and started Zooming together. And from there, it's just been one thing after another. It's been really amazing. We've become really good friends. We do well, he actually hosts the Thursday morning Mirror Roundtable. And we do that on Thursday morning. Rena, who we both know,
Yes.
she occasionally shows up, but she should be showing up more often. In fact, the last time we messaged back and forth, she said, "Please poke me so I don't forget." That's pretty cool. But let me share a little bit about who I am so people get to know my how I got here. Um,
Yeah, that would be awesome. And really quick, I'm going to give a quick plug for other things. So, people that are listening to this that don't participate, are not able to participate on Wednesday evening US, there's a Sunday morning UK group that you can join that's amazing, and it's a little bit different flavor. Well, actually, there's a UK group and there's a Sunday morning group. And then there's Armando's group on Thursday
Thursday.
mornings. And I do breath work, meditation, and just a reminder of our Christological place in union twice a month on Sunday evenings, something completely different, just speaking life into people in a real different way. So there's probably more. So you guys, if you want to connect, but haven't been able to find a time or a flavor that works for you, there's a lot of options. Reach out, leave a comment, and someone will reach out to you and connect and give you all the info.
So good.
Yeah, that was a commercial.
I got that.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, go ahead. Tell us about that.
So, boy, it goes back, but I'm an ex-Navy veteran. I am an ordained minister, former worship pastor. I was a worship pastor for about 12 years. Um, Gosh, I've been a dental technician for 41 years.
Awesome.
I've also been a USA certified hockey ref.
Huh.
I was a hockey ref for 8 years.
Did you get into dental work because of hockey?
No, but that's a good question. No, actually, my father was a denture technician, and that goes way back. And this is why, because I was also a journeyman plumber in my younger years. So I wanted to get out of plumbing, so I used the GI Bill to go to school and went to dental school and learned how to be a dental tech. So that's how I became a dental technician, which is pretty interesting, actually.
It
Uh,
is.
I'm also a potter. Although I don't do pottery anymore, but I've done some amazing work back in the 70s. Um, let's see what else. I'm a
Guitar,
musician. Go ahead.
guitar.
Yes, I'm a musician. I taught myself guitar. I'm not a shredder. I'm actually a vocalist, and I learned to play the guitar to accompany myself. So that's worked out really good. I've been playing guitar for quite some time, but I don't consider myself an accomplished guitarist, but I'm good enough. Um, I've written and co-written about 70 songs over the years. Um, I do have a YouTube page, but it's not something that I did to promote myself. Diane actually loves to listen to my songs, so she asked me to do a YouTube page. And I did, and I recorded, I think maybe 15 to 19 songs. It's on Eli's Songs of Worship. It's hard to find because there's quite a few people out there named Eli.
Okay.
But
We
yeah,
will add it to the show description episode, and so people can check it out if they want. I'll have
Eli's Songs of Worship.
send that to me. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see what else. That's in a nutshell. But I'm in
And
my seventh decade, so I've done a lot.
oh wow. So is St. Pete been home all along and you and
No,
Diane all along?
no, actually, I spent most of my years in South Florida,
Okay.
actually North Miami Beach. When I met Diane, she lived in St. Pete, very similar to your situation. She lived in St. Pete, and I lived in a small town north of here called Spring Hill.
Okay.
I owned a home in Spring Hill. It's about 60 miles from St. Pete, and she lived in St. Pete. I was on staff on a church in Spring Hill. So, and at the same time, I was working halfway between St. Pete and Spring Hill. So, we actually lived in two houses, I think, for the first 3 years of our marriage. So that's pretty interesting. We would um, drive on Sunday nights down to St. Pete and live all week in her house in St. Pete, and then drive up on Friday nights and spend the weekends at my house and go to the church in St. Pete where I was the worship pastor.
Oh wow. Yeah, it'll be great to have you guys on there and get
Oh yeah, we got some great
on
stories,
the
man.
stories and really how those relationships kind of how paths cross.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful. Okay, so then you now are retired
Yes.
and
Well, I'm retired, but a homemaker. If and I'm not ashamed to say it. My wife still works, so I'm the one who does all the grocery shopping and cleaning the house, and
keeps things in ship shape.
yeah,
I love that.
I'm kind of a clean freak. So
I know you said you're listening to Brian and I's episode right now. We talk a
yes,
little bit about that
I heard that. This
episode 7, the differences and coming together. So you were a pastor,
yes,
and what kind of a denomination or what kind of,
it was definitely non-denominational.
okay.
Um,
It's, all right,
although I've been in quite a few. I've been in the charismatic movement. I've been in Pentecostal. I even sang in a Baptist choir
sweet.
for about 6 months.
We know how that goes. There's a lot of those guys around here in these southern parts. Lots of the Baptists, and I
Yeah.
love them. So you came across the Mirror Word on Facebook,
Yes.
and what caught your attention? Had you been familiar with the Mirror before, or was that something that literally online you just read something and it caught your attention? How did that kind of come about that you went, whoa, wait, what's this?
So my wife and I um, we walked away from the institutional church about, man, I would say close to excuse me, um, 6 years ago.
Okay.
And we had been looking for churches and things to do. We started our own home gathering. We went to other community groups and trying to meet people who were like-minded because we had been already transitioning into this understanding of the undiluted gospel. It was a process, and it's still a process. But somebody had mentioned in one of the meetings the Mirror Bible. Have you ever read the Mirror Bible? And I kind of shrugged it off. It's no, I never read it. But anyway, during my searching on Facebook to find like-minded people, that's when I really came across it on Facebook. And I started reading it, and it was like eye-opening. It's like, wow, these people think and believe like me, but how do I meet these people? When we walked away from the church and stopped going to church, there was a period of depression
Yeah.
and loneliness and, asking Jesus, what do I do now? You know, where do we go from here? I was so involved in ministry, and it was such a big part of my life. It was actually my identity as an external, if you know what I'm trying to say. It was very much a part of my life, and walking away from it was extremely painful for me. Now I've come to, I always understood that, oh, my identity is in Christ, but I really didn't know what that really meant in my innermost being.
Mhm.
And it took me a while to transition from that, walking away from being a pastor to realizing that what's really important is my relationship with the Father, Son, and Spirit more than anything else. But there's that period of time where we were so alone. And during that time, Diana, we never argued about this, but we would always have these discussions um, at the breakfast table Sunday mornings because really that was the only time we had the chance to have breakfast together um, because of her working during the week. And so we would discuss back and forth. And I would say, well, let's just try to find a church and try to meet people. And she would always resist. And she would say, we need to trust that we're gonna find somebody. So it's gonna happen. Trust the Lord. Opportunities are gonna come. It's just gonna happen. Quit trying to make it happen yourself. You know,
Wow.
I'm such a driven person that I want to make it happen.
I
You
get it.
know, I'm sure. And so it took a while, but man, here we are. I never even imagined, being face to face with you or anyone else in Zoom meetings that believe the same things, you know. Um,
You know what? I just like, Eli, I need to just sit there with that for a moment because it's like the goodness of God
oh,
in
yeah.
in our lives, like literally orchestrating even what feels like, oh, he's not going to care about this based on like how maybe we perceived things before. Like this isn't a big thing, but yet it's actually a huge thing. Saying, I need people. I know I just need you, but no, we do need community and connection, especially as we're exploring new things and we're literally becoming like undone. We're undoing of what we thought we were, what we thought church and life in Christ was through
Yeah.
an intellectual knowledge and maybe even experientially to a degree. But when we start seeing and pulling back that veil and understanding it is finished, that we can see beyond this veil, new language, new experiences, and a falling away of identity, false security of church and programs and activity for activity's sake, and not even, just for me, like it just was an undoing of so much.
Oh my gosh, I know exactly what you mean.
And you feel like you're losing yourself. You feel like, what if I'm doing this wrong? What if I'm wrong? Um, but you can no longer stay. You just can't stay there.
No,
And you start to count the cost of this new way of being, seeing, living, feeling, experiencing him. And yet we want to pull some of those old things in. Like you said, you were like, but what if, let's go look for a church. Let's just get there. Let's just do this because our, like the neural pathways, the automatic response, bodily and soul
Oh,
go
for
there.
sure.
And he's like, no, like I need to pull you back. And how you had Diane in your life to be able to go, this is a Abraham moment.
Trust issue.
Yeah, this is an Abraham moment. We are going to trust what we can't see that he's going to do it. And I mean, it's mind blowing to me how I had such resistance on the social media thing, or like I was doing Graham Cook maybe, maybe 8 years ago or something, kind of my gateway drug into this. And I hated the online community. I'm like, I can't do online community. I don't want it. I was so resistant. And how he's made a way in that in online communities that is so different and it can be fulfilling. Of course, we want community connection and relational here, and it's hard when we don't experience that, but he makes a way. And like you said, you came into Facebook through the mirror through Facebook, and then you start like seeing all these mutual friends and you say, oh my gosh, I've got 30, 40, 100 mutual friends. So then you friend somebody else across the world and that opened you up to other teachings and perceptions of this absolute undiluted gospel. And the relationships, the learning is limitless, and he's made a way.
Life is limitless, man.
So beautiful. Okay, so you just kind of, you guys, she's like, okay, we're gonna trust. And then,
I still cheated though.
oh, you did, do tell.
I never went to church. I never went back to a church, but um, I would still like the Friday morning breakfast. So what happened? It's probably about three
That's your
years.
evangelical group friends that you still hang out with, right?
Yes, but one of them is transitioning in the
Okay.
process. In fact, he's the one that, to use the word mentoring, that I'm kind of mentoring. I actually have three people right now that I'm speaking into their lives. They're hungry for the truth. They're seeing things in the scripture that just don't make sense or they don't understand. And they're looking for answers and they're asking questions and they're asking the right questions and they're asking me because at these meetings that I go to, some of the things I say, I plant little seeds
Mm.
and it piques their interest. It might not make a change right away, but they one person said, there's something about you when you walk into the room that's different from everybody else. And it's true. It's like Baxter Kruger says, it's that expression of relief.
Mm.
And I've struggled with that my whole life. And to be in a place of actually experiencing that, there's no words to describe it. So about 3 years ago, a friend of mine calls me up and he says, "Hey, we're having this um, Thursday morning Bible study out at the park. Park about, I don't know, maybe 10 miles from where I live." And I said, he said, "It's a bunch of old guys, man. They all go to church and, they're all Christians." And I said, "I'm not sure I would fit in there." And he said, "Well, you don't know, you might." Anyway, I went and we really didn't have anything in common other than the fact that we claimed Christianity. But I met somebody who at least was on a path to understanding. And he invited me to someone else who sent me a link to Damon Thompson. And I started listening to Damon Thompson. And that was the progression of how I went from meeting one person who led me to another person and led me to another person. And that's how eventually I found the Mirror Study Bible and the Mirror Study Group. I also go to an Overcomers group on Tuesday nights. I don't know if you know what Overcomers is, but it's kind of like um, Al-Anon, except it's not about a higher power. They focus on Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. But they're all people who have addictions, and they're beautiful people, man. But um, I love them all. In fact, the one person that I am mentoring now used to go to the Overcomers. He doesn't go that much anymore, but I still go. So that's because I just love being around people. And we need that face-to-face community too.
I agree. And
Yeah.
and that comes. There are, I mean, I know for some folks are out there and they're like, I don't have it. I don't have
Oh,
face to
I know
face
what I know.
community. And it will come. I think sometimes I've had to stop and go, have I asked? Have I asked for what I long for? How our good Father wants to give us the desires of our heart, and He knows what we need before we even ask. But there is something in just going, this is what I need. And I sometimes feel like I'm setting my intention, though, when I do say, I need this, rather than just longing for something, whether, it's financial or, like in this case, relational. It can be a million other things, but saying, Papa, please
Yeah.
lead me into that place where I have someone with skin on that I can just connect with. And you know what? For me, I won't even really remember the ask. And then all of a sudden I'll look back and go, oh my gosh, he didn't just give me what I asked, he gave me more. More
Isn't
than
that beautiful? Yeah,
yeah.
I would encourage anybody who is in that same position where you're sitting there and you're going, gosh, I'm so alone. I don't know what to do. Man, just trust Father, Son, and Spirit
Mhm.
and and ask over and over and over again. I trust you, Lord. I'll wait upon you, and I know that I can rely on that.
Yes.
And I at one time, like I said before, at one time I just sat on the couch going, is this it? Is this it? Lord, is this it? And now every once in a while I see all these faces, meeting new people all the time. Um,
And
just amazing.
it is in the connections that come, when they're supposed to, like you mentioned, you and Armando have developed a friendship that,
Oh yeah.
you know, is in the overlapping of past experiences, and that we realize we're not alone in this journey. And, you know, there will likely come a time that you will get to meet face to face. But for now, there's something that happens in online connections too that can go sometimes deeper. We don't have all the other things interfering, like with, oh, wait, we've got to do this, we're doing this, we're doing this. You get to get right in to the point. You maybe only have 30 minutes or an hour that you're on a Zoom call or less, and you deal with what's on the heart, and God blesses that. I think there's something that's happening in the spiritual realm where we can go in deeper because we don't always have those face to face. And we're learning about connecting, knowing our realizing our oneness, our union, and that interconnectedness. Um, John 14:20, in that day you will know that I'm in the Father, Father's in me, and I'm in you. And then that's a we, that's interconnected. So my my hopes and my desires for your peace and your life and your fullness then interacts with my own. And, I don't even begin to understand how that works, but how we're all connected. So then when we're in friendship deeply with others and open those parts of us, it gives permission to others to do the same. In your conversation, say with Armando, for that example, there's healing that happens for him and in turn heals things in you in that interaction. And I think he's taking
Beautiful.
us to a whole nother level of how we reside in that place. Like I think about what, you know, when people are very worried and concerned about evil in this world and division and these things, but it's like, or yes, yes, we acknowledge, we know, but how, what's our role? Well, we come together and learning how to love in this brotherly love kind of way where we can be the mirror for somebody else and go, man, this is what I see. I see your joy. I see your knowledge. I see your um, diverse skill sets and gifts. And those are so amazing. And oh my gosh, you've got a YouTube channel out there with music, and I can benefit from that. And there's a life in life exchanged. And then that goes from us out of us to those around. That's what starts dispersing darkness. And we move in this place of unity, growth, brotherhood, connection. Might sound a little woo-woo, but it's what I feel and I know to be true, what he's doing. And we get to fight darkness through this other-centered love that is expanding at the same time.
It's beautiful. Really is. I mean, there are times when, in fact, it was yesterday, I had um, sent him Armando a message. I said, I'm just not having one of my better days. And almost immediately, are you up for a phone call? And he called me and encouraged me. And it was the words he had were directly from the Holy Spirit. Our Holy Mother knows exactly what to say. And it was encouraging for me. And that he's done that. He sent me a message about 3 months ago, around there. He said, I feel really alone. And I called him, and we had that face to face
Yeah.
where he needed that face to face and he needed that encouragement. And that's so good when we can do that with each other. And that's things that, even though when we prefer to sit across each other on a table with a cup of coffee, where we can hold hands or see each other. Um, Sometimes it's so much easier to just FaceTime with somebody. I can't necessarily drive 15 miles immediately to see a friend in need. It's not that I won't do that, but it's not the same thing as just being right there at that moment when they need you. And that I think that's really an advantage in a way, um, to doing these face-to-face Zoom calls. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Oh my gosh, it makes total sense. Because, like, think, in our generation, we can kind of, there's probably a time where like, oh, social media, or oh, online things, like that's not good. But it's like find the good in everything. There is good in everything that's been created, and how we use it, how we're experiencing it. I think what you said is so, so true, because when you reached out to Armando yesterday, his ability to, well, his choice, not his ability, his choice to respond and speak life into you, whether he felt like he's having an amazing day or not, feeds his life. It's this
Sure.
continual. And it's like when we don't navel gaze all the time and think of our own stuff and our own circumstances and all the things that we need to do to keep the balls in the air and take time out for another, it's the most life-giving um, thing that we can experience.
There's nothing like other-centered love.
I know.
There just is nothing like it. It is the joy of the Lord in us when we can edify someone else.
Yeah.
Uh, it's just amazing.
And sometimes we may feel like I don't have time, but when I listen to that place and reside in that place of union, just go, wait, no, I am. So what are you saying? What do you say, Lord, right now? What needs to be done? What's a priority? And if you get the nudge of take 10 minutes, take 20 minutes, send a text. I probably have on any given day at least a dozen people that I am in that mode with. But that's part of who I am. Like that's just what I do. And so sometimes it can feel overwhelming. I can be like,
I'm sure.
I don't have 10 minutes.
I'm
Um,
sure. I think about I don't like to use the word convenience, but the availability of face to face and social media. I can see where I could get actually overwhelmed with spending way too much time doing it. Not that it's a good thing or not a good thing. It's just I can see how it can really be crazy at times. You know
yeah.
what I mean? It's like, man, I want to just meet everybody. And then how do I do that, you know? And anyway, it's just been amazing for me, Amy. I don't even know how to express where I'm sitting right now, knowing that where I came from and how I had so many doubts, not in what I believed, but in how I would find community
Mm.
and how deep that was for me. And Diane really saw that and understood that. And her patience with me is just so beautiful
Sounds like
because
an
she knows I have very little patience. Most of my friends who know me, they refer to me as MacGyver. I don't know if you know who MacGyver is.
course.
I have this natural knack of fixing things without having the necessary parts or things to fix things with. I just have this God-given gift to be able to do this. And it's just who I am.
I love it.
And instead of like trying to get the right person, you know, an electrician, or I'm just using an electrician just for a profession. I'll try to fix it myself some way. And I usually am able to do it. And she'll tell you, she's amazed. How do you do that? I go, well, it's God, you know, it's given me that gift. We have so many gifts that are freely given to us to bless other people with.
Mm.
And that's the beauty of it, you know.
Yeah.
It is.
That's like Brian's out there MacGyvering the RV right now as we
Yeah.
speak. And I have the day of recording a couple of these.
That's no fun, man. Yeah, I get to do all the plumbing repairs around the house. There's some I can't do because I can't crawl under sinks anymore. I don't work that way, but most of them I can handle.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's my son. He's a plumber. But
Oh, what a great profession.
yeah.
Is
And
he? He's really a plumber.
he is. Yes, he is.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, and actually graduated with his with a business administration from Alabama, and then worked about a year and says, I need to be out there problem solving, working with my hands, getting out, and because he sees things that others can't see. So he can see
Sure.
visually a gift beyond what the eyes see. So he can look at a house, see what's not working, and know where to go for the problem. And he's like, I'm going to do this. And so, yeah, anyway, but all of the things that you were saying, are so, yeah, it's so necessary that we just walk in this place of trusting rather than trying to make our own way. You know, it's something that actually, as you were speaking about, like needing to, understand how something, how is this going to work, or how am I going to have community, or these different things. It dawned on me, well, this is something I'm very aware of in myself. So I can have literally 111 in terms of the lines between my furrow brow, or I can have one, two, or three. And I know the intensity of my thoughts rather than that place of rest. So unfortunately, I wear my lack of trust on my face, literally, because it will be like deep squinting or rest. And so when you were speaking earlier, I felt, and I'm like, I don't feel the dips. The more that I'm trusting this process, like when you said, I don't, oh my gosh, the change that has come. It's not doubting what you believe, it's what is this going to look like? What is life going to, how's this going to continue to unfold? And from my journey, it has been, well, and accelerated in this last year with Brian in my life, but everything flipping upside down. That you want to walk in freedom. You want to walk, Amy, in absolute trust. You want to trust your dad as the good dad
That
rather
he is.
that he is, rather than one that says, okay, now go prove yourself to me, Amy. That's the way I perceived him for most of my life.
Yeah,
I
me
love
too.
you and I'll love you more when you do what I ask or that. And so that unlearning is now coming in like a firing squad of opportunities to rest and trust, whether it's the friendships, whether it's the finances, whether it's relationships in my life, whether it's where you're going to be and how you're going to fund anything going forward after the RV's done. How you're going to put gas in the RV.
No, I read,
um, yeah.
I read John 14:20 so many times, um, and never really grasped the impact and the reality of what that actually means, what he was actually saying.
Mm,
There, and of course, I always go to John, I think it's John 17:26.
similar.
Father, I have made you known to them, and I will make you known, so that the love with which you have for me may be in them. And when I finally realized that, and it was an awakening, that the love that Father has for the Son in the Holy Spirit, that face-to-face love, they want us to experience that same love. And that makes the hair on my arm stand up. But when I think about that, it's really powerful. We see each other the way they see us, you know, and that's just amazing.
And it's,
Rita has a way of making me cry whenever she's a babbling brook, and I just feel that presence. It just overwhelms me, you know. Um, it's amazing.
it
Brings
is
tears to my
amazing.
eyes.
And it's there in every one of us when we allow it to come out, just
Yeah.
allow it to flow. And for me, it's that shift, Eli, of all I have to do is stop and remember, and it switches.
Yep.
This is right here. It's just their voice, it's their love. And Amy, in the flesh, my soul can put a lid on it and say that's not safe and it's not necessary in this moment or whatever. Or we just go, flow, baby. Just let us shine through you in the way you're made. Don't question.
Indeed.
Just be who you were made to be.
Yeah, I spent so much of my life trying to do to be.
Jesus says, just be to
Yeah. Oh my gosh. They had two of them at the men's breakfast this morning.
of these
Two
little
of them.
guys.
Yes. Yeah,
Ah!
two of them.
Well, look
They're
at,
they're really wonderful people. They really are. Oh my gosh, look at that.
I have a friend who lives in Vero Beach, and she just sent me these in the mail.
Wow.
She's a college friend. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I got my degree in 2009, I think, and ordained the same year. And it meant so much to me at the time. And I hardly ever think about it anymore because it's just a piece of paper, you know. I haven't done a wedding in, I think, I don't know, 5 years.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'll ever do another one. It's just,
because you're
The
living,
interaction and the relationships are what's really important.
yeah, and you're living in that place of oneness.
Yeah, oneness. I
Needed
like to say oneness is funness.
oneness is funness.
Yeah,
Yay!
Rita said I should make a line of t-shirts. Oneness is funness.
Oneness is funness. You'll get a lot of people asking questions what that is.
Yeah, for sure. What does that mean?
What does that mean? Well, let me tell you.
Yeah, really. Instead of telling you why, what you're saved from, what you've been saved for.
Mm,
The most amazing relationship you could ever imagine. We are God's idea.
yes. And he loves when we just step into that and just get to do life with him, learning, growing, releasing, picking up every day, every moment, wherever we are, whether we're in the dental office, under the sink as a plumber, speaking to kids at the corner, giving them a little plastic
Yeah.
rubber Jesus.
Those are cool.
I know they are amazing. I got to give 5 of them out the other day, so it was really fun. And,
That's really neat.
but like I don't have to. I can let them sit on my desk too. It's not a have to do, it's a get to be.
Yeah, that's because, there is no sacred secular dichotomy. Everything is sacred. And it's probably, well, I don't like to say the biggest or anything like that, but it is an issue with the Western mindset, the separation of ministry is this, and then your regular life is this.
Yeah,
There is no regular life. Life is relationship with them, Father, Son, and Spirit on a regular basis,
yeah.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the people that we come in contact with, we're we're not under any pressure to do anything other than to love them and to open their eyes to who they really are and who they always were.
So good. Eli, this conversation has been such a gift, such a blessing, and for people to get to know you a bit, who you are. And we're going
Thank
to put in the show notes, we'll put your YouTube channel if people would like to hear some of your guitar. And yeah. So before we just sign off, anything you're reading right now, whether it's in the written word or a book from anybody that you're like, hey, I love this. Tell me about that.
Sure, a couple of things. I do read the Mirror on a regular basis, but when I do, I always uh, compare it with a traditional translation, because most of the people that I come into contact in the flesh are traditionalists, and they read the NIV, the ESV, or whatever. So I need to connect them both so I can relate to them. The book I'm reading right now is The Shack Revisited.
Mm.
But
Dr. Kruger, right?
yeah, but I have books coming in for my birthday, which will be my birthday is actually next Wednesday, but the family will be over Sunday, and I have a number of books coming in. I'm sure. I think I have a Thomas Erskine, maybe a George MacDonald. I think even a John Crowder book on the way, but we'll see. Um, I try to read as much as I can, but um, sometime I'll explain to you the reading issues I have, which is kind of interesting. It's something that we don't have time to get into right now, but it's pretty cool
Okay.
how God has taken our God has used the handicap that I have and allowed me to accomplish the things that I've been able to accomplish in spite of it. And it's really beautiful.
Wow. Well, yeah, I would love to hear that
Yeah.
sometime. Very good. Yeah, I'm actually reading Lily Crowder's book on a Monday in February, which is regarding Zeke's suicide.
Oh, wow.
Their 15-year-old a few years ago. And um, C.S. Lewis, or I'm sorry, It's by George MacDonald. It's George MacDonald by C.S. Lewis. So I'm reading that.
Yeah, my wife has already told me that for her birthday, she wants all of Rachel Cannon's books.
Oh, there you go. Great. Yeah, I just
So that
shared.
makes it easy for me.
Yeah, that does. Those make easy gifts.
Yeah.
You guys, thank you for joining us in Coffee Chat, conversation time that does anchor in the mirror, but it's really the journey of our realization of our inclusion in the finished work of the cross.
Amen.
And continue to join us on these chats, share them with other folks when you feel inspired. And we hope to see you on the Mirror Word sometime. Thanks, guys, for joining. Bye bye for now.
Bye-bye.